Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Weather with Sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about a large storm that's going to be coming to the United States over the next few days, including today, where we will be seeing the potential for widespread blizzard conditions anywhere from Kansas all the way back up there into Minnesota, where we could be seeing winds gusting as high as 70 miles per hour, mixed with snowfall totals ranging between 3 to 6 inches, with maybe even some higher totals getting near that foot range. But even down there in the southern plains and as well as parts of the Midwest, you guys can see that we do have red flag warnings also currently in effect for all those areas, which does indicate that you should probably not be burning today, as we could be seeing another widespread wildfire outbreak. The fire risk will not be as extreme as what we saw on Friday and Saturday when we had those tornado outbreaks ongoing over here to the east, but you should still not burn out there, as even areas as far east as even Ohio and West Virginia will even be at risk for even some wildfires, especially as we get into tomorrow. So make sure to not be burning out there, especially if you live in either one of these areas that I just circled. And you should also be ready for the potential of severe weather, which we will go over in just a second. But pretty much this area right here will need to be watching for severe weather over the next 24 hours, as I do think today will be a big day. Let's now go over that by starting off by looking at the models. You guys can see that we are going to be tracking a pretty large storm as we head into the later part of today. Like we were just pointing out, we will be tracking those blizzard conditions on the northern side of this system, potentially bringing over a half a foot of snowfall to parts there of Nebraska, Iowa, and even over there into Wisconsin and Minnesota. But even on the southern side of that system, we will be looking at the potential for some severe weather, potentially on the significant side of things, as we do have an enhanced level 3 out of 5 threat for severe weather across central Illinois, back over there into extreme western parts of Indiana. Main concerns for today is pretty crazy. Look at this. We already got a threat for strong tornadoes, guys. We're talking a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes right on top of central Illinois, back over there into western Indiana, where we could be seeing EF2 tornadoes or greater. But even this 5% area extends all the way out there into western Ohio, all of Indiana, even up there towards Chicago, Davenport, Iowa. Like, this really does include some populated city, guys. I'm hoping that this won't be as bad as what we saw on Friday and Saturday, but with this threat already being strong, I think we could very well be seeing a few strong tornadoes rolling through these areas, and I would not be surprised at all if we saw a similar situation on the southern side of the severe weather threat, including western Kentucky and southern Indiana. But I think the area that we're especially need to watch for is going to be up here towards Chicago, Terre Haute, even up there towards Bloomington, even down there towards Effingham, Illinois. You guys need to all be on high alert out there, as I do anticipate this to be a pretty big day for severe weather. Now, if we look at why we are seeing severe weather, latest run on the ARRR model is showing that we could be seeing some discrete supercells ongoing, with a line of thunderstorms rolling on through Illinois, with the potential for a few strong tornadoes up there. But look at this. We even have a line of storms ongoing from northern Indiana all the way back down there into Tennessee, where damaging winds, large hail, and maybe even a few isolated tornadoes embedded in this will be possible. And this will even continue into Ohio, as you can see, as that marginal risk actually does continue into Ohio, with the potential for a few strong tornadoes there as well. And then that line of storm should eventually weaken, but we will also be tracking some snowfall on the backside of the system too, as well, as you can see, which, keep in mind that temperatures may be a little bit warm for there to really be any snow sticking around as far down south as Missouri, but we will still watch it very closely, as some heavy snow may still be possible. It's just that it's been really warm outside lately, so I am not anticipating anything in the way of snowfall sticking around or even travel impacts, but we will still keep an eye on it very closely, as I still think we may see some accumulation. It's just dependent on how heavy the snow gets and if it's even cold enough, which, like I said, it's been really warm lately, so don't really anticipate the snow to stick around if you live south of Chicago, but we will still keep an eye on it very closely as snowfall totals of around a dusting cannot be rolled out. Which, let's go ahead and look at those snowfall totals, especially across the upper Midwest. The upper Midwest could see some pretty high snowfall totals. Look at this. Anywhere from Kansas all the way back up here into Nebraska, Iowa, and even Wisconsin, guys. We could be seeing snowfall totals ranging between 3 to 6 inches widespread, with higher totals up to a foot being a possibility, especially where you see those pink colors. Look at that. We might even see snowfall totals even getting near 2 feet. This would be wow, guys. It's not very common to see this much snowfall in March. We still can see some since there is still lingering cold air across the northern United States. It's just that it's warming up out there, so we usually don't anticipate anything major like this to happen. So this should be our last big snowstorm of the year. Like I'm saying, this should be our last big snowstorm of the year before it finally starts to warm up during the rest of spring, continue to stay warm in summer, continue to stay warm in fall before we see another one during next winter. But like I said, we should see the snowfall threat calm down right after this one, and hopefully that's the case, but who really knows what's going to happen as we get closer into April. Let's now go ahead and look at some future storms that we'll need to be watching for as we take this forward. And you guys can see that we will be tracking another big round of storms by the time we get into the weekend. And this will mainly be on Sunday. Sunday into Mondays when we will be tracking another shot of rainfall, maybe even another big snowstorm up there across Minnesota and Wisconsin. But that is far enough north enough to where I'm not really concerned about that one as much. And then after that heads out, and like I said, we may see another big snowstorm as we get into April. But like I said, since it has been warming up, I still expect the snowfall threat to continue to die down, especially as we get into April, where we'll be seeing a lot warmer air roll on through, as you can see, especially where you see those orange lines indicating some very warm air rolling on through. And like I said, who really knows what's going to happen as we get into April? But like I said, it usually does warm up quite a bit during that time, so I anticipate most of the snowfall to stay up there in Canada, if why not well north in Canada, but we will still need to keep an eye on it very closely, as we still can't confirm that the snowfall threat is completely over. But once again, we shouldn't really see anything too significant right after the snowstorm across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Kansas today. Now, the other thing that I want to look at, and this is going to be our very last thing, is going to be our wind gusts. Wind gusts are going to also be pretty strong, as well as winds could gust anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour across the Central Plains. Those may also continue into the Ohio Valley and just continue to head their way eastward. They will die down, but they may strengthen a little bit, especially as they head out to sea, so something to really keep an eye on there. And then after that, maybe even a few more rounds of high winds rolling on through, especially when we see more of these storm systems continue across the United States. But once again, things are still on the uncertain side of things, especially once we are heading 7 days out, but we will keep an eye on it very closely. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Weather with Sim merchandise is now currently available, as we sell all kinds of stuff. We sell everything from hoodies to even jackets. We even sell hats, stickers, and t-shirts. Make sure to go check this out by going to weatherwithsim.com in the link down below in the description, where you can even find an iPhone case, a mug to wake you up in the morning and enjoy your morning coffee, or you can even buy a pin, or you can even buy a tank top. All this stuff will be available on weatherwithsim.com, and this also really does help support the channel a lot. If you would like to go buy some merchandise down below at weatherwithsim.com, And it's fine if you don't want to, but merchandise will only be available for a limited amount of time, so make sure to go check it out before all this goes down. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Wednesday out there, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.